Well,
Hey everybody, we're here. We're live. We're back.
what happened to Wednesday? You know, it's like we were
I
there
know.
talking on Tuesday, and now we're on Thursday. What happened to Wednesday? I don't
Yeah,
know.
and here in the States, we had a major federal holiday on Monday, so most of
Yeah.
us are only working 4 days this week. So I'm still struggling with: is today Wednesday? Is it
Oh,
Friday?
right. You
You
don't know
know,
what day it is. Yeah,
because
yeah,
I had
yeah.
Monday off. Yeah, I mean, yesterday I was at work and I was like, oh God, I'm so glad it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, and I was like, oh God, that's so messed up.
So, have you ever heard this? Like, so we're all time travelers, right? So,
Yeah,
believe it or not, we are all time travelers. That's what's good. But in the
yeah,
crypto world, time is different. It has different rules than the rest of the universe. Have you noticed? You know that
yeah,
when
yeah.
one week can go by in crypto, and it's like 2 months in the outside world. It's a weird phenomenon that can happen. So, um, what do you think's been happening in the crypto world just recently from sort of highlights of what you've seen yourself? Have you noticed any like big news? Um,
Mm,
what one thing I
well,
did see.
yeah, yeah. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. One thing I did see is like BitBoy, like he'd sort of disappeared off the scene for a few days or a few hours, and now he's
Ah,
re-emerging. Is re-emerging as Ben, and so he's not BitBoy
ah.
anymore. It is Ben, But yeah, I mean, we all go through craziness and that, and I think he went through a bit of craziness. But that's one thing I've seen. It's not really crypto news. It's more like a crypto influencer news. But that's the big news I
Well,
saw today.
I guess they intertwine to a certain extent, right? Yeah, you could call it either one. No, I haven't. To answer your question, I have actually not had a lot of chance in the last
Yeah,
48 hours to keep an eye on crypto news. We do have some Vitruvio news that, why don't I bring that
mm,
up just real briefly?
yeah.
Uh,
Let's do it.
yeah, and by the way, everybody, I'd like to introduce Steve from Cosmic Force as my special guest today. I forgot to say that. And I'm Odinato, of course. And we're going to go ahead and this is going to be part deux of
Yeah.
the Cosmic Force white paper and review, I guess we could call it. And
Mm.
Cosmic Force, for those that are kind of new to it, just real briefly, is going to have it's a multifaceted project that is not only a really awesome video game that is currently being developed by Steve and his team at Cosmic Force. They're also going to have their own gamers blockchain, specifically, where other developers can actually launch their gaming projects on their blockchain. And my brain kind of goes all over the place, but I'll just throw this out because it just came to me. Some
Keep throwing.
folks don't some folks don't realize that the gaming industry made more last year and has for years now been bringing in more revenue than both the movie industry and the music industry combined on a yearly
Yeah.
basis. It's
Yeah.
just unfreaking believable that I don't know when the first year was, Steve, that happened, maybe a decade or more. It's been a while that it's been
Yeah.
that way, right?
They call it the big crossover. No, they don't. I just
Yeah.
named it that. It's the crossover point. It's a touch paper point, But it did happen. I don't know. I think it's only in the last sort of 2 or 3 years that's happened, and maybe it's a good
Yeah.
thing to actually go. We could go through a little bit of that, just a few more details about the gaming industry in general, and why crypto, like why the gaming industry, right? That's number one, and why crypto,
Mhm.
and why is the gaming industry sort of bigger than the music and the film industry, and
I
who
think
plays
that'd be
these
good.
games? Who plays these
Yeah.
games? It must be everybody.
Absolutely. And I'd love to, right before we get into that, I'd love to say thank you to everyone that's in the audience that's watching. Please be sure
Yeah.
to throw questions in there, and we will try to get to as many of them as we can. We'll be around for probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. It depends on, Steve has things that he has to do after we're done, and I have to go to work, but we'll be here for a maximum of 2, maybe a little bit less. We'll just kind of see how it goes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Teddy1. Yeah. Thank you very much for being here. Rickness as well. And the lovely Mrs. Odinato, thank you so much. So today I didn't get
Wow,
$1.
splashing out.
I got $10. I must have done something right yesterday. So
Yeah.
time I go live, I might be down to 50 cents. We'll just have
Or
to
it
see.
could be that she wants to get in credit because she needs you to do something as well. You know, I don't know.
She doesn't need any credit. She just says, "Go do it." I have to
Go
go
do
do
it. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if my wife Dawn watches this, then you know, I'd be saying the same thing. You know, she
Yeah.
says the word and I go and do it. Yeah. So it's the best way.
Okay.
She's the
Yeah.
boss. She's the boss.
Absolutely. But yeah. Which way? Where do you want to start? Did you with the last part you were
Well,
talking about?
yeah. I think if you share the screen that I'm on at the moment, I
You
think
bet.
just talking a little bit about the market overview, you know, about the actual gaming industry as it stands right now.
There we go.
And yeah, so part of what we're doing with Cosmic Force, we want to look at what other games there are out there. That there are quite a few sort of space type games and first person shooter, and it's a really big market. We were fortunate enough. Let's think, it would be 3 years ago. We went to Gamescom, not in the USA. We went to the second biggest Gamescom, and that was in Germany.
Oh, no kidding.
In Cologne. Is it Cologne in Germany? Yeah. Anyway,
Cologne?
so
Yeah, it's in Germany.
yeah. I'm just making sure that was the right town it was in, and there was literally what did it say? Over the few days that it was on, there would be 300,000 visitors. And one
Wow.
thing I noticed when we were walking around, that there were areas like Netflix had a big area. There were Microsoft, all the big sort of players, and then there was it was more like a village, you know, where some areas you weren't allowed into because it was all behind screens and that, and it was all about announcing like new games, and it was absolutely unbelievable. And and the funny thing is, we were there 3 years ago with Cosmic Force. On Well, what I'll do is on our Discord later, I'll find some photographs and show that we did actually have a stand for Cosmic Force, and we were in a small section of this 300,000 visitor extravaganza, displaying Cosmic Force, which was the 8-bit version, you know, so the early 8-bit version that we did, and we were in the retro world. So we were in an area called Retro World. But
oh, cool.
The one thing that was surprising is some of these games. This is really bad. I've got to try and think what games am I talking about now, you know. But there was there was like cyberpunk type games that were coming out. There were the thing that was remarkable is that people would be sat waiting, and literally they'd be waiting for 12 hours to get the first go on some of these games coming out, you know. And the people that were like writing these games, the developers or anybody that had any involvement with the games, they were like rock stars. It was like going to a cinema red carpet sort of deal, you know. And it's amazing. So when I see these numbers now, right, so on the screen we're talking about the market overview, and we're saying that it's a $385 billion industry. I can definitely well believe it. You know, you just need to go to one of these shows and you can just see the money, you know, the cost of everything going on.
They have it in spades, huh? Just tons and tons of extra cash.
Yeah. But, you know, it's all about entertainment, isn't it? You know, and this is why with Cosmic Force, even though we're in crypto, it's all about entertainment. It's about creating something that someone would buy, treasure, be part of, be in the game, and actually just enjoy passing time, exploring or doing whatever you're doing in there. And you know, we'll sit and we'll watch a movie for 2 or 3 hours, and to get immersed, and we enjoy it. And you know, if you go to the cinema and you pay, how much is it? Right. Okay. Here's a good question. How much is it for the cinema over there at the moment?
Yeah, a non-3D movie. I don't go very often, but it's about $17-18 US per person nowadays.
That's it.
And then if it's a 3D movie,
Yeah.
it's a couple of dollars more, but there aren't many 3D releases anymore, which that's fine because I think most of the 3D movies suck.
Yeah.
They
So
don't feel they're not immersive like they should be. I saw Avatar in 3D and I was very disappointed in the 3D aspect of it, but I'd already seen it a couple of times in the theater in the regular version. I'm like, that's way better. But yeah, it's pushing $20 US depending on where you are in the country. So it's not cheap.
So I guess that, you know, in the UK, it'd be between 10 and 15 pound, and depending, you can get your premier seats, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I remember watching Avatar and the first one, and watching that in 3D, but unfortunately we booked our tickets late and we were like sat at one side, so we didn't really get it. Was, I don't know, I just started feeling weird after about 10 minutes, you know.
You get that that motion sickness going on or something. Yeah. And it's
bit.
Just not the same, and they're not active shutter. They're not the LCD active shutter that, you know, refreshes a zillion times a second. They're just the cheap glasses, not the red and bluish green ones like we grew up with in the 70s and such, but they're still not that good. But yeah. You know, the movie industry, it's interesting because I like the take that you had, Steve. You know, when we get on we play a game, we listen to music, we watch a movie. It's an escapist kind of thing. We're escaping somewhere. I mean, you could be driving your car. I mean, you're still actively driving the car, or you're at work doing your job and you're listening to music or something. You're still partially escaping. And I think that's one thing that a lot of folks don't understand or think about is this type of project that Steve and his team have, Cosmic Force. There's multiple facets, and there's the part where you can escape and play the game. And if you're just a gamer, good, go for it, man. You can pew all you want and have a great time in escape. If you are an investor, well, there's a lot here for you that could definitely appeal to you. And again, not financial advice, nothing in our video is, but it's something that you could check out. And then there's the other aspect where you can have, we'll talk about it some more, but you have your own gaming blockchain specifically for gaming developers to be able to bring their projects in. And why does anybody care about that? Because when we have other projects on your gaming blockchain, they'll be generating cash flow.
Traffic, traffic and
traffic.
volume.
Yes, thank you. And that will benefit investors in the Cosmic blockchain. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention that because I think a lot of folks don't understand or don't think about the fact that there's a lot more to this than a video game. That's a big part of it, but it's not by any means the only part of it. So,
and you know, and I think part of the reason to mention Gamescom in you know, like 3 years ago, is to just highlight that we have been in the games industry, albeit that previous incarnations have been 8-bit, and like now we've moved over to the full cinematic. Our background as a company is in cinematics. So because we've done actually, if you look at the end of the white paper, you'll actually see some details of some films that we've done, and some of these films are narratives that are available on Amazon, and also we've done documentaries. So so we understand the side when it comes to actual entertainment. You know, what is entertainment value. We've also had a recording studio that we recorded music for other people's films as well. So, and you know, we've had films that have shown in Leicester Square in London. We actually got one of our films into something called Rain Dance. It's a bit like Sundance, but it's Rain Dance, so it's the UK version. So we got a film in there. So you know, so we've got a good background in entertainment. Rain Dance.
Well, I'm laughing because I live in Seattle and we have largely the same weather as the UK, or, you know, as London and such. It's and we're already shifting over from summer weather. It's gone now, and it's starting to rain again, and it rains like 8-9 months out of the year, every day, overcast. Anyway. So we would have a rain dance too, is what I'm saying.
It does. But anyway, so if we go back to the marketing overview, it was surprising to us when we first looked into the research and saw that blockchain gaming, it's 49%, right? So what does that mean? It's 49% of the traffic or the volume of blockchain activity is accountable to games already in the blockchain, right? So this is before we launch Cosmic Blockchain. This is just blockchains in general that GameFi represents 49% of the traffic. And then I think I said before on a previous show, well, why is that, right? And then when I started thinking about it, because I come from sort of a financial background doing chip and pin payments. Now, when you would do a payment, so chip and pin, it would be literally you're doing a transaction, it goes to the server, it does everything it needs to do, and the information comes back, and it's a done deal. That's it. It's a transaction's over with. And in the blockchain, it's exactly the same. So you go to a DEX or wherever you're doing a trade or a swap, and it's a transaction, and then you sign the transaction, and it's a done deal. So there isn't that much traffic involved in the transaction that you do. Although if you're on Ethereum, you're going to get charged a lot of gas fees for that little thing that you did on the blockchain.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to that in a little bit. But what it means is that to do transactions like in the financial side of things, you're not actually doing too many transactions to do quite big things. Now, when it comes to gaming, you may be recording, sometimes the position of where you are if you've gone to a different part of a game, or it's saving. In the case of Cosmic Force, it'll be recording onto the blockchain. All the leaderboards, it'll be saving information, like if you've picked up anything along the way. This sort of data will be recorded to the blockchain. So during gameplay, there could be lots and lots and lots of things that are recorded to the blockchain, and this is why 49% of traffic will be applicable to blockchain gaming. So bringing out the Cosmic blockchain, it actually makes sense to have a dedicated blockchain for gaming that is faster and cheaper than your normal blockchains, and we can talk about that in a bit. But coming to the next part, it says here that by the year 2030, there will be 4.5 billion people like playing video games in one form or another. But in one form or another, that, there's many, many different forms of video games, so it's not all your first-person shooter, your adventure game, it's not all your big cinematic productions that are on PC. So I think a big market is mobile games. Would you say?
Oh yeah, like Candy Crush and things, just and a million others just like it. I mean,
yeah. So
you had the Fruit Ninja, where you could slice stuff, falling, watermelons and all of that kind of stuff.
Do you know what Fruit
under
Ninja,
many different names? Yeah.
Fruit
well,
Ninja
that was one
came
name
out.
I saw.
Yeah, well, Fruit Ninja came out quite a few years ago, if you remember, and you could chop the watermelon, and on the iPad, that was as a couple, that was one of our favorite games, and we still have it on an old iPad. We still have it on an old iPad.
Oh God!
And you're slicing and slicing and slicing, but don't slice the bomb because that's going to
exactly
blow you up.
Right. But that's right. Those kinds of games will make up a massive amount of revenue, and you get a bunch of those on your blockchain as time goes on. Yeah, millions of microtransactions will add up, and if you're someone that is an investor in this project, you could have a piece of a lot of little transactions, which could, theoretically move or add up to a lot. So I like that. That's exciting to think about.
I like that, yeah. And and the game industry, right? So I know just recently there's been SEC that there's been all right. We're now we've got our eyes on NFTs, right? Well, it's not just now. It's actually a few years ago they did a report, and now it's surfaced to the top of the pile, and it's the new hot potato that they're looking at, alongside about 500,000 hot potatoes, because there's always, I think. Right, let me take one step back. I think in crypto, I think legislation is definitely a good thing to do and good thing to have. I think when it comes to the gaming industry, just think about games that have been out so far, and you can create a server, and on that server you can sell digital assets. You can make whatever digital assets you want, and the security and everything about it just comes down to that one company. That one company you open trust, doesn't go bankrupt. The servers keep running, and as we know, there's a lot of games from years gone by that people have spent a lot of time in, building up their assets, building up their little empire, and they enjoy playing, and then for whatever reason, the company decides, all right, we're not going to support that game anymore. And so on such a date, the server's going to stop. And when the server stops, it doesn't just mean that you can't play it anymore. It means that the digital assets and everything that you've been building up and you've been treasuring, they could disappear. Sometimes when this happens, it goes into the hands of sort of like a private group that sort of take over the server, and then they maintain, and it's really good that these things do happen. But you talk about legislation and SEC looking at NFTs. I'm talking about like legislation and looking at previous games and the previous way that things have been done, where there isn't that extra security. So I really believe and feel and believe that when NFTs and digital assets are looked into from a gaming point of view for actual like AAA traditional gaming, I think I truly believe there won't be any problem whatsoever on that front. And actually, it's a step in the right direction from the way that gaming has been done with central servers in the past. So it was a bit of a side shot, but on what we're saying just now. But I think it was important because I know just recently there's news about NFTs. But the interesting thing here is, putting all that aside, NFT sales in games are set to hit 15 billion by the year 2027. So let's just think about that for a second while I have a drink.
That's a truckload of cash. It's just, when numbers like that get thrown out, I know a lot of people's minds go numb and they go, oh yeah, it's a lot of money, but I can't conceive, I can't, that's a concept past the average person, including me. I mean, I know it's a ridiculous amount of money, but if you look at it this way, that means that from an investor point of view, that's good, because that means, if we get a big enough audience, we could have a possible piece of that. And as it grows, of course, it'll get bigger. And that means, again, to investors that are in the gaming blockchain market, that's some more money in your pocket, possibly anyway. So,
yeah. And also, like, so far, I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't mean just in 1 year. It just means so far now for Web3 blockchain games, because we're still in the early years of blockchain gaming. But even now, there's been like 10 billion invested into gaming studios developing Web3 blockchain games. And again, this could be for mobile or anything, right across the board. And literally just reading the research that we put together, like, publishers made 3.64 billion in revenue from NFTs, tokens connected to items for use inside video games in 2020. So what this is saying, it's not the buying of the game, it's the actual in-game trading that's happened in 2020. It added up to 3.6 billion, which sounds quite a lot, But if at the same time we talk about the games industry being as big as it is, what I don't have is what percentage of that games industry actually is warm to crypto. But it's an interesting thing. Like, I know, so we use Unreal Engine, and I know what was I going to say there? I know that there are moves like within the industry that there are companies and some big companies that are now starting to embrace and see the benefit of crypto as being, or should I say, when I say crypto, I think it's better to say like blockchain technology,
Okay.
and using NFTs. I think that they are now embracing that side of things, but as I said before, in the bigger world, in gaming, NFT is not a good word to say, but things will change over the years. Anyway, so let's move forward on this one. So yeah, so the background research shows that there is a lot going on in blockchain gaming, and it's only going to get bigger. So we're right at the beginning. The majority of the big companies don't use blockchain technology. The same could be said about the banking industry, and the majority of the banking industry didn't use blockchain technology, but over the last years, they've been busy getting up to speed, and they've been embracing blockchain technology. And you'll see more and more of that happen in the banking industry. And just as you see it in the banking industry, you're going to see it in the gaming industry. So it's inevitable that these things are happening. So it's good for us to be there in the beginning of the wave that's coming. And if we can do that and make a difference, then that'd be good. This is just a quick graph just showing the year on year NFT revenue forecast. But again, the white paper is available and anybody can read through, and that's it. So right at the bottom there, just saying that we want to lead the trend, and that's why I just wanted to show you a little bit on the market overview on what's going on.
Putting the your website address in here for folks in the audience that if you haven't been there or you want to follow along on a separate screen or something as well, I just put the link in the chat. It's cosmicforce.xyz for all things Cosmic Force.
That's it. And okay, time passes really quick, doesn't it? We talked about like time feeling different when you're in the crypto world, and it feels different when you're on a live show as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It totally does. It's different being up here versus being in the audience. And I do both plenty. And it's always strange when you're on the other side of the screen. But when you're up here, time flies by and you go, oh my God, we've been up here half an hour. And then at the 2 hour mark, it's like, really? Wow. So, and again, as anybody has questions for Steve, we can always throw them out there, and we'll try to get to all of them and have Steve answer anything that you have on your mind. So,
yeah. So today, it's like pretty informative. Is what it's all about. It's all about the white paper and the games industry. So if you go on our YouTube channel, there's lots of different. Oh, I should have clicked that button, by the way. that says stream to your audience.
Oh yeah. I told you about that 2 days ago.
I'm going to click it now. Okay, so
yeah,
what I'm doing just now,
it'll take a second.
I got to put a title in as well.
yeah. So you could just put in whatever you want. While Steve's doing that, so Steve's also going to stream this to his official channel for Cosmic Force. But yeah, I don't game nearly as much as I used to, but I'm hoping to get back into it soon. And it's a fun pastime. I'm a PC gamer. I don't do the mobile games really much. I can't look at a phone screen for too often or my head hurts. But that doesn't mean there aren't billions of people that don't. It's to me, if you think about it, that's a lot. There's a lot of money out there. And if you want to make some passive income, there are opportunities within the Cosmic Force universe of their project. You can, as we mentioned on Monday and went into some detail, there are nodes. You can get yourself a node or a light node. You can buy a percentage, 1% of a planet or 0.1% of a planet, and take part and passively get income off the transactions that happen on those planets. That's kind of a high level, but just a couple of the ways you can make money with Cosmic Force.
No, that's great. So apparently, I just did some magic there, and we're live on the Cosmic Force channel as well. So hey,
Ta-da!
so that means we're live on 10 channels, is it? Something like that
Oh,
altogether now?
it was 9 channels. Yeah, now we're live on 9 channels. Yeah.
Right. Excellent. So for Cosmic Force, every game like really needs an in-game token, right? So the in-game token, it's a token that you can use for trading, for buying and selling on the marketplace. Also, it's one that you can actually win as rewards if you play, and you initially it's to do with leaderboards. So if you are one of the top 4 categories, which will be something like diamond, gold, silver, and bronze. So if you're at the top 4, and these can be challenges that can be like a 1-week challenge, or it could be a 1-day, or it could be a 1-hour challenge, and there's going to be a selection of rewards that are given out from the Cosmic Force treasury, and you could actually also get a Cosmic Force token as well. So just talking a bit more about the Cosmic Force token, we did release this token earlier in the year, and it's been a token that has been used for the in-app purchases, but also it's a token that has been in the background. Any token, right? So people come along, they buy the Cosmic Force token, and then if you want, you can hold it and be ready for when it's released with liquidity, with some bonuses, or you're able to use that token to buy NFTs that we're going to describe, which could be like the Planet NFTs, the actual Node NFTs. Also, there's some NFTs that are power cores, and these are all part of the pre-sale game. So even before the game starts, like this is like a game that we've got in progress now. So just talking more about the Cosmic Force token, in the white paper you'll have all the information there for the contract, and also you'll have the details of what the price is. The total supply is going to be 21 million. The tokens in pre-sale, there's a soft cap of 500,000. This is what the token looks like.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and this is Mike, like one of the team. Actually, my oldest son. My oldest son.
I like the 2 ships at the bottom. Are those stars? Can't tell if they're ships or stars. They look like they could be either.
They are ships,
Okay.
but they sort of look like. Sometimes I look and I think, is that a Grogu? I don't know.
Yeah. It's very cool though. I like. Yeah.
I was going to say, but just like Bob Ross, the painter guy, they can be anything you want them to be. If you want them to be stars, they can be stars, or they can be spaceships. And
spaceship was the first thing, and then I thought, well, wait a minute, am I looking at it wrong? But yeah, they're very cool.
Yeah. So at the moment, we're released. It's like it's a contract version 1, I would say. And version 1 doesn't have any liquidity, and any trading, anything that you do with the token can only be done within the DApp that we have, and that we're going to go on to a few pages and just show some of the DApp in action as well. But right here, what it means is, let me just expand part of that. There we go. So at the moment, we're actually very, very close to 100,000 that would have come in on the Cosmic Force token, which means very, very soon we're going to be in the 100 to 200,000 bracket, which means if you buy a Cosmic Force token for $1, when we release with liquidity, the release price will be $1.15. Now you might think to yourself, well, this doesn't sound like DeFi. This sounds like not much. But the way that we're doing things with the Cosmic Force token is that it is the in-game token, and there will be buy pressure with the token because you need the token to buy the NFTs to actually progress in the game if that's what you want to do. If you want to buy the bigger ship or the bigger vehicle, or you want to trade with other people, then the CFX token is the token you need to do everything. And so we believe there's going to be buy pressure. So on that front, we want the token to be as stable as possible, you know. So we were never interested in saying, okay, you know, buy it for $1, you can then we're going to release it at $9 and everything's good with the world, because it wouldn't be. There would be a drop in the price. Things wouldn't happen as smoothly as we would like it to. So just on the same theme with the Cosmic Force token, we are actually looking at releasing the token into what would be the version 2 contract in October. So this will be towards the end of October. And part of the idea is that we're going to actually pair with gold. So this is what we're looking into. This is what we want to do. And I'll bypass this. I'll go back to that very shortly. But we're looking at crypto gold standard. So why gold? We did talk to the community about when we release with liquidity, do we want to be paired with BNB, for example? Do we want to be paired with a crypto? We're going to be releasing on Binance, but do we want to be paired with a crypto, or do we want to be paired with a stable coin like USBT or BUSD or whatever stable coin? Do we want to be paired and pegged against the dollar? And in conversation, it was like, well, why not? Why don't we get paired with gold? Because gold, over the years, and I'll just scroll this up just a little bit more. Now, it might be a little bit difficult to see on your screen, but we're starting from 2013, and we're going up to June 2023. And on average, so that last one is like 2023, yeah.
Wow.
On average, like gold goes up by about 10% per year, and it has done for the last 40 years. You can see like here that there was a big jump up, and let's have a look. That was around
2015-ish?
Yeah, 2018-ish.
Oh, okay.
That it went up, and it's been fairly stable. Now, the price of gold, it does go up and down, you know. But it seems like a good way to do things. We're looking into different tokens, because the way that you do liquidity is that you would put the same value of one token, which would be like CFX, and then the same value in another token, and potentially the other token could be PAX or Paxos, or should I say PAXG, which is the like the BNB Binance version of Paxos. So we're looking into it, and this is what we want to do. We want Cosmic Force token to be, when I say fairly stable, we want it to be stable, but increasing in value. And if that's at a slow rate that it increases, then we're all good with that. And it follows the actual ethos of how we're doing business with Cosmic Force right from the beginning, because we're all about building something slowly, but securely, you know. So we're not after taking big mega chances to say, right, you know, this time next year everybody's going to be millionaires, because why would we say that, you know? If this time next year everybody are in a better position than they were this time this year, you know, then it's good for everybody, you know. So it's all going in the right direction. So this is why we're looking into gold. And what do you think about gold?
Up and to the right. I like to bathe in it, man.
He likes a bathing gold.
I like to bathe in it. Yeah.
It'd have
It's
to
like,
be molten
la,
gold,
la,
wouldn't
la,
it?
la, la, la. Yeah, that's amazing. I never look at anything like that because I don't have any gold. But it's
No.
important. It is important to keep track of because, yeah, it goes and it's obviously stable. I saw something else recently, and I can't remember what video I was watching on YouTube, and they touched on this actually because I could swear I saw this or something similar to this chart, and up and to the right, and yeah, in the mid 20 teens, just shot up like you're showing there, and it's
Yeah.
amazing. And even though it's had some dips, it's still found a new floor, and it's way up there.
Yeah. Now, you know, like any commodity, anything, it's like hedge funding, isn't it? It's like having the right sort of backing. It hasn't been finalized. There's still time between now and October to just iron out and make sure everything's good. So what we're deciding on this as a result as well. There's a lot of cryptos that launch on pink sale, and then the other way of launching, they always say, "Oh, it's a stealth launch." Well, you know, we're saying now in October we're going to launch with liquidity. Already since the beginning of the year, we have been like raising funds, and we're now just about to go over the 100,000. Like I say, although some of that has been used for actually like buying other items within the ecosystem of what we're doing, but there will be liquidity by the end of October. The liquidity that is put into it will be a combination of NFT sales and the liquidity of the tokens that are owned by individuals as well, like the CFX token at that point. So we'll be launching. This is the way we're going to launch. So not through a pink sale. It just seems the most sensible way of doing things, where we go to the next stage, and the next stage is where everybody is able to actually trade the CFX token. And if you want to take out, you can take out. If you want to put in, if you just want to trade the token, you can. But as a result of this, we do need to put some tokenomics in there, because we don't want it to be a trading token as such. It needs to be a token that's created for the in-game token, and as such, we thought about it a lot. You know, we thought we don't like the word tax. Like nobody likes the word tax, but but we did. Yeah, but we decided,
nobody likes that word.
Yeah, but actually, before we get to that point, when we talk about the allocation, the first item in the list here says the cosmic bridge and liquidity 90%. So 90% of the supply is going to be purely all about the liquidity. And when I say the bridge, I'm going to tell you what that is. But 90% is all about the token supply that is open for anybody, right? 90%. Sometimes you see some projects and they might go live and they may be giving a lot less to the full supply. You know, some supply needs to be held back or reserved for other tasks. So part of it is the Cosmic Forest Treasury. Now, on the last show, we talked about the Treasury, and we said the Treasury is in the center of Cosmic Forest. It's used for the rewards. It's like some of it is used for some of the direct costs that could be involved, like in the heart of the gaming. But the main just like, let me rewind. So the Cosmic Forest Treasury is used for rewards. It's used for some direct costs for some of the game maintenance and development, which is sort of different to what you're seeing on the screen just here, because this is about the token allocation. And also it's used for keeping like a value within. It's like the store of value. It's like the vault in the center of the game, which is there as a buffer for everything that goes on. You know, so So for example, NFTs are bought, money goes into the treasury. Some of that money would be used for development, correct? Most of the money would be used for rewards and also for all the other functions that are going to be coming later. So for example, mining, in the beginning, there could be mining operations, but there aren't any manufacturers that are like individual manufacturers. So the Cosmic Force treasury would be the treasury that buys the raw materials that you've been mining, and they're in the form of rewards. So it's like an ecosystem that comes together. So this is how things happen. And this is why there's 5% also of the supply that's going to be going to the Cosmic Force treasury. Also there, I can
Hey,
see somebody
Fowler.
just came in.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Somebody just came in. Good to see you.
Hey, what's going on?
Or
should I
not see
say-
you.
Or not see you,
Yeah, I like to work. You guys kind of
You just want to get the warriors out there. Yeah, we know.
You know what I'm doing, man. I'm just sitting here, just trying. I tried to. This was supposed to be a day I was kind of supposed to sit back because I got a bug with one of my dApps.
Right,
with the pack right now, and I'm kind of just sitting back waiting for a response and stuff. But like even though I'm saying like, man, I need to rest. This is a good rest day. Put the fingers to rest. I'm still here doing NFTs, man. So like,
Yeah, always welcome. And all right, we're doing quite good on time. So there you go. So part of the allocation is going to go to the treasury, but the treasury is all about the game. It's all about all of us. 3% will be on development and maintenance, and this is ongoing. This will be ongoing over the years. So any percentages that you see here, it doesn't mean that instantly everything's cashed out on that. No. It's absolutely totally in our interest for the CFX token to be as stable as possible, and we'll do everything within the power that we've got to make sure it is stable, that it sort of only goes one way. It's never guaranteed. It's going to be on the open market, and people can do things, but also we're getting to the time where up to now, and this is where I hold my hands up to everybody and say we haven't spent any money on marketing, and there hasn't been any funds from anything that's been happening here that's gone on marketing. And the reason I say that, and I'm happy to say it just now, is there is going to be marketing, and the marketing needs to come from somewhere, and we need to do some good marketing. So once we've got initial gameplay going on and we've got the initial release, then we can start marketing in a bigger way, and we can attract the YouTubers that they like to talk about games. They like to talk about games in development, and there's a lot of YouTubers out there that like to talk about games. And I'm not saying that we're going to be throwing money at them, because I don't think that's the right sort of attitude when it comes to a lot of sort of YouTubers. But because they'll actually see some of the advertising and some of the campaigns that we do, then hopefully people will start getting in touch with us and say, look, I want to review what you're doing, and this is all good. So going forward, we definitely need to have some solid marketing campaign. And the one thing I can promise the community is the marketing that's put together. We're not going to go, oh, look what we just did. We got in all these articles, and in the background, you just paid out a stack load of money just to get some articles up there, just for us to show you on screen, oh, look where we got in there, because that's useless. Any marketing that's done, there's got to be new players. There's got to be new interest. It's got to go somewhere, and that's all I'm saying on marketing. And we could do a full show on marketing, I think.
Absolutely. I think it'll be really exciting, Steve, when it gets to that point where you have, big gaming YouTubers that come to you, like you were just talking about, and saying, hey, I want to review this game, blah, blah, blah. And
know.
I think that'll be just awesome, because that'll be a great marketing strategy.
Have you seen, like some of these YouTubers? Have you seen how many followers they have? We're
It's
not talking.
insane.
We're not talking like 500,000 or 1 million or 2 million or 3 million. We're talking multiple millions that some of these have, and yeah, I mean, I think you've got to be doing something super, super special to get on some of the top tier ones.
Yeah, I think from what I've seen, more of them tend to be on alternate platforms like Twitch and a few others that are out there. Oh gosh, what's the name of that one? I just had it in my head and now it just went out. But there's some newer ones that are
TikTok,
starting to
not
really.
TikTok.
No, not TikTok.
Yeah, I think it's like Kick or something like that.
Yeah, Kick. Thank you. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard some good and bad reports on Kick because they don't really moderate it too much. So there could be bad stuff on there at the same time. But
the Wild
it's
West,
it's like any tool. It can be used for good and bad and all that kind of stuff. But it's worth looking at. I know at the moment we're not on Twitch. We did get a review on Twitch once, but this is for the 8-bit Cosmic Force.
Oh, okay.
In the past, but yeah, we need to fire out on all social cylinders, as it were. So certainly on that one. I mean, just recently, if you look in the media, because like Starfield, the Starfield launch, all that kind of stuff, that the amount of reviews, whether they're good, bad, or medium or whatever, I think in general there's been good reviews, but also there's been a mixed bag going on. But if you look on how many channels have actually reviewed, it's a lot. It's all over the place. But this is what happens.
Obsidian Ant. You know who he is on YouTube? Obsidian Ant.
Yeah,
he does tons of really. He's a very fair video game reviewer. He reviews games of all genres. I've watched him for years, and actually, I just saw his Starfield review that he did earlier this week, or it was last weekend. And it's actually, he's always been pretty fair. He'll tell the good, what he likes, what he doesn't like, and he tries to be as objective. And I think it comes through pretty well. But that's how I found out about Starfield, actually. I'd never heard of the game until I watched that video. And he even said, I only played it for 6 hours. That's all I've had time for so far. But this is what I've found. And this is, the goods and the good and the bad, et cetera, et cetera. And he went into some pretty good detail. I thought it was pretty good. So I'm looking forward to folks that can do reviews, especially like that.
Yeah. And
he has a big following.
Somebody said that to get into it properly, you need to play at least 12 hours, but yeah, to actually get on one of these channels would be great, but I think you've got to earn your dues along the way before you've got to step up, the sort of bottom feeder. Sorry.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, you knew what I meant. Yeah,
I know you.
We specialize here in sort of crypto and lots of other things and all the aspects of what can connect with crypto, but to actually get on the rungs of the ladder for game centric people, that's all they talk about is games. It'll take a lot of effort, but I think it comes down to what you do and what you get out there and how good the game is as well. So when it comes to this side of things, it could be that they're not really interested in this side, that their only interest is how good is the game, so when it comes to marketing, it's really the marketing side of things is all about the game. It's all about the front entertainment side. It's that word again, entertainment, and that's the part that we need to get across and have a good image as we go forward. But yeah, so just talking more about Cosmic Force and the Cosmic Force token. So because we're creating the Cosmic blockchain and we need the CFX to exist both in BNB and on the blockchain, we need a bridge. So the way we're dealing with this is that the total circulation of 21 million CFX tokens will be managed across the two networks using a bridge. Now, this is a bridge that we will manage, and it will be created by us. So to know that it's 100% secure, and we need to do things like get things audited. As soon as we become a token that's a live token that you can trade, things need to be audited. We need to go through the right process for this. So that's what we're going to be looking at. And then
That sounds good.
Yeah, and then finally on that, I mentioned the T word, which is tax, and on this we decided that we do need to have some minimum tax in there, and the reason why is to stop it being a token that is just used for frantic trading. We don't want frantic trading going on. Of course, there can be some trading. Somebody can buy, hold, and then 6 months later they can sell and they can make profits or whatever they want to do, not financial advice. But there will be a buy and sell tax, which will be good for the community as well. And on this, part of the reason we have the buy and sell tax is because 50% of it will be going to the Cosmic Force Treasury. Now, something else I need to say about the Treasury is that it will be doing, I suppose you call them buybacks or putting liquidity back into CFX. It will be doing that along the way to maintain like a good price for CFX. But something, and this is the interesting part, it's also going to be putting actually purchasing and putting liquidity into the Cosmic Coin. Now, Cosmic Coin is what will be used for the gas fees on the Cosmic blockchain. So the idea is when you buy, the idea is this, that when you buy or sell CFX, or when you buy NFTs in-game, basically all the trading that happens, there's going to be small amounts that are put into Cosmic Coin that are actually purchased by the Treasury. And the idea is we don't want any gamers to have to buy any gas fees for the Cosmic blockchain. We want it to be sort of separated. Now, when we talk about Binance, right now we're all aware of gas fees. We need to buy BNB, and we don't see a problem of that in the short term. But in the longer term, especially when we talk about being able to onboard new players by them just using the credit card, we need a mechanism in there for actually covering the gas fees, so that the actual node holders will get rewarded. So this is part of the way of doing it, and it's all about the Cosmic Force Treasury. And I think we'll be creating a breakout paper that's all just about the Cosmic Force Treasury, or it could be an extra part that goes in the white paper that goes into more detail on what the Treasury does. So, so of course, on the day-to-day basis of the buys and sells, there'll be development and maintenance is part of the tax, and partly as well is marketing. So we need, again, to keep supporting the marketing. We need to keep supporting development, and we need to keep supporting putting back into the central game system and looking after the infrastructure of everything there. So does everything look all right so far? So feedback from whoever is watching or the guys that are here while I have a drink.
No, very straightforward. And you've touched on different aspects, not just the game or the investment. It's being mixed together, trying to make sure we're covering everybody in the audience, because not everybody's going to be looking at this from the same point of view. Some will be gamers only, some will be investors only, some will be both. I'm going to be both. And we have a question, actually, a good one from Jaco13. And thank you, Jaco, for your question. Yeah, he asks
with the Lambo.
Yeah, Jacob with the Lambo. He asks, Steve, so I had an idea for a game, and it might not even be realistic, but what is a budget for low-end, mid, and high-end game development from beginning to launch? My background is not tech.
I'm definitely curious.
So the point, I think the point here, right? So your background is not tech. So this means you're going to need to recruit a development team to make your idea into reality, and this is where it can really vary, and it depends on how complicated your game is and what the actual platform of it is. So, is it a Web3 game? So is it going to be based on like a website type game of strategy or whatever? So let's have a think. I would say in the first instance, it's not going to be in the hundreds. It's going to be in the early thousands, really, to start putting something together that starts to resemble a game that would be all right. I mean, this is just my thought, but on this one, I'd need a lot more information. So, I mean, what do you think?
And are
you guys?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you saying, Steve, in your question, your answer there is that if you were to go by yourself as like if you were a developer and you just wanted to do this solo, you could start with some thousands and probably get it off the ground at some point on your own? Or because if you have developers, we're talking millions by the time you launch, I would think. That's just, am I off? Or is that even close?
It depends what game is. Yeah. So I mean, if you're a developer and you could do it, you could do all the basics yourself, then it's going to cost you the most valuable thing, which is time. That's what it's going to cost you.
Star Citizen. Over 10 years in development, still hasn't been launched.
Yeah, and
raised almost $500 million. It still isn't launched.
I don't think too many companies can pull off what they did, man. I think there's only gonna be one Star Citizen, and there'll never be another Star Citizen again. I don't. There's no way, because somebody can do something this long, right? Come on.
I bought in 8 years ago.
Did you?
8 years ago, I bought a capital ship because I was like, I had left Eve. And I hadn't played for a little while, and I saw Star Citizen. It had been out for a couple of years, and then they had some capital ships. I was like, yeah, because I had a ton of capital ships in EVE Online. So I was like, I speak capital. I put in, I don't know, like $400 odd, and I understood what I was doing. And they, to their credit, the one thing that they haven't done is lie about one thing. They say that it's in development and it'll be done when it's done. That's what Chris, what's his name, the CEO, right, the guy that started it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but he didn't lie about that one thing. And it's like, it'll be done when it's done. And here we are over a decade later. I think it's close to 12 or 13 years now. They've raised almost $500 million, and they're nowhere near being done because they keep changing things.
Yeah, so, I think what it is most people want to see a game that does something. Like, what is the point of this game other than being in this room to see my ship, fly around a couple times and come back and get off my computer?
Yeah.
I think people want more. They want more of a game. And, like you said, it's been this long with that amount of money. You should be further along into people are playing this game for a purpose. Okay. And the purpose is why they stay in the game for hours and hours and hours. Right now, they don't have that game. They have a game that basically you go in there and look. And it's almost like looking at NFTs in a gallery. Like, you go in there and look, you experienced everything, you leave. That's pretty much what it feels like.
You're in the biggest showroom in the universe, yeah.
And it's beautiful too. I mean, the graphics are insanely crisp in the one star system that you can even fly around in. I've flown around in that system. I've seen everything, and it's beautiful, but I want to do more. I did spacewalks at a space station, and that was kind of cool. But it's still in alpha, everybody. Over a decade, it's still in alpha.
That's what I'm saying, man. EVE Online. I was playing EVE Online in alpha. That went for like a couple years. and then we were in the game, and then there was you can fly to hundreds of planets, hundreds of systems, man. Hundreds of systems jumping in a jump gate that was, remember, in alpha looked terrible. The gate was terrible.
Mhm.
Transportation was terrible. But then over time, the game transitioned to like this transportation hub. You knew where to go. It was more efficient ways to do things. All types of great things. But that's what I'm saying. Even online didn't take that long. Eve is huge, a huge game. And it only took them a couple years. So what Star Citizen is doing, that's not right. But you are right as well that they, but to answer Jacob's question, I mean, from my point, you know, me, I'm starting off, I'm doing all this, but see, I have a lot of skill, right? I have a lot of skill. I can do like a lot of things and learn some things at the same time. Like I'm not a coder, but I can maneuver enough to make my own dApps, right? So it's really about, as a developer, how much skill are you willing to put in, you know, how much, you say skin you're ready to put in the game, but I say skill to put in the game. And like that's where it starts. So it's gonna vary to person, because like if you're not someone that can handle art, editing, and all that stuff, or can do enough coding to put out some dApps, then you're gonna have to pay somebody that has those skills. So that's you're gonna be adding more and more and more. So where's the budget for something small? Like something small could be really big if you're not willing to kind of like get your hands dirty and kind of take care of those things until you get to the point where, hey, okay, we can afford to buy somebody, you know, get somebody that's advanced up in here to do more advanced things. You know, for me, now I have to look for a game developer at some point, right? When we get the, you know, when we feel like we have enough in the war chest to go and get this thing moving. All at the same time, I still gotta get guys gaming, you know, up and running. So we haven't even got to that point. So it's really how many hats are you willing to put on in this game? Like when it comes to this, being a developer, is how many hats are you willing to put on your head? Because if you're not willing to put that many hats on your head, you're gonna have it's gonna be a bigger you know, bigger check. I mean, a bigger bill, really. Like it's gonna be a bigger bill for you.
And I think you're right there, because you know we're a small team, right? And because of that, we want to keep our overheads as low as possible. You know, we want to make sure that the runway is always far in the distance, so everything that we say we can do, we're going to be doing. But at the same time, we have to put like a lot of different hats on, and you know, and we're doing all the different aspects. So, you know, and there's four of us on the sort of the main team, but there's only three of us that are really sort of developing, and you know, whether that's graphics or worlds or dApps or whatever, you know. And at some point in the future, there needs to be more people, but bringing the more people in, you know, we don't want to be jumping that it's going to cost like 100,000 for this, 100,000 for that, because it's not, the project isn't going to exist if that's what happens. So we're doing things in a different way to Star Citizen, of course, you know, and we're doing things in a way that we want to be able to release playable gameplay in stages, you know. So right now, I would say we're in pre-alpha. In October, we're going to be releasing. Now, are we going to actually call it an alpha release, or is it going to still be a pre-alpha release? I think, just to be safe, we should say it's a pre-alpha release, because it's going to go the first time to the inner circle of cadets that are part of the team and everything that's happening right now. So that's what's going to happen in October, and people are going to be able to run around and do things, get on the simulators, do some first-person shooting, do some flying around in spaceships in the simulator, be able to go and explore the planets. This is what we're aiming for. We're aiming for releasing all that in October. Now, if we get to October and for whatever reason it's like we've got the first-person shooter simulator part working, well, that's not end of the world, because you can still go in, you can still be in the simulator room, you can still be part of everything going on, and the first challenges are all to do with first-person shooting, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, maybe that's when the I'm just saying different scenarios, so what we're not doing all or nothing. We're not doing an all or nothing release. So imagine, you're doing all your first person shooting. You've got different maps that you can play on. Doing that, you've got different challenges that you're going to be doing through the first person shooting. You've got different weapons you can use, and in essence, it's a game within a game, but it's all to do with the simulator training to get you ready for the big outside world. And then 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, the actual flight simulator activity kicks in, and this is all part of it. And then the third simulator style kicks in. I mean, in the room right now, I think we've got 6 simulators. So we've only mentioned 3 of the gameplays that are going to be happening anyway. So we've got 3 more simulators that we haven't even mentioned yet, and we're not mentioning yet. Firstly, because we're still deciding exactly what they should be, and secondly, it's just to make sure it all fits in nicely, So, but I can say, say for example, the 4th simulator could be more vehicle terrain based activities. I'm not saying it's racing or whatever, but it could be something like that. So we've got this capability of releasing in stages, and as we do that, we'll be getting the feedback, and then the next stage will be that there's more of the base to explore. The next stage will be that your ship is nearing completion. The next stage may be that there's an off-world, the off-world space station is available to fly to. The next stage may be that then you're looking around, you're doing things, and you're getting, basically it's all steering towards being on the off-world station, and then being able to get into the transporter ship that then takes you to the planets. It's all about getting to the planets. That's what it's all about. But we're not going to go to the planets straight away. Even though we have created some of the planets, we're going to allow you to look and go to the planets through the simulator to start with, so you can get a good feel for it. So yeah, there's different ways of doing things. So Jake, wait, actually it said Jacko, Jacko 13. Is this something that you and your team can do? And the answer is yes, we can, but we can't because we haven't got enough time.
Yeah, because you're still developing. But good
Because we're
question.
busy developing what we're doing, but yeah, I mean, but I can answer that in a different way actually, because we are looking at creating a gaming portal. Now, this is something we were looking at creating for Vulcan, as it were, blockchain. And as we go forward, we're going to be creating all these different tools that allow gaming to connect to the blockchain, and this could be for leaderboards or easily being able to create
SDK, right?
Yeah, the SDK, so easily being able to create the in-game NFTs or transfer tokens, and everything that you would need, that we need in Cosmic Force to write to the gaming blockchain, right? So if we can then make that available for third-party developers to develop games for the Cosmic blockchain, then this feels like a good way that we can help people. And actually, when we look at the Cosmic coin and the Cosmic coin distribution, we do have an element of that we want to, we want to look at being able to offer grants. But again, this is further down the line, and there's got to be a good validation that teams are actually working on something that would be going towards being on the Cosmic blockchain as well. But we're very interested in nurturing. We're very interested in nurturing other people to do development and to aspire and be creative, because this is what it's all about. It's all about being creative. So yeah, Jacko, keep in touch, keep with us, and I'm sure that something good is going to come out of your ideas if you've got the passion to go for it.
Oh, he definitely does. I've talked to him a lot offline, and he's got lots of great ideas. He loves aviation, like real life aviation, simulated aviation. He's huge into that, and so yeah, I'm sure he'll come up with a lot more.
Hell, even I gotta get in touch with Steve. I'm about to start blowing up your DM soon, man. I'm at that point. I'm at that point.
Oh, mighty Steve, bestow upon us the developing.
So because of time, I'm not going to go through the alpha. I'm just going to say that we know that you can get an alpha. The alpha is at a very reasonable price. I think it's $100. This will give you 25% off all new in-game digital assets, including a lot of the pre-sale, all the pre-sale that's going on here. There is a supply of 2,100 on this. Because I'm in the white paper, it's not showing like live numbers. If I look at my screen up here, okay. So there's 82 alphas been sold. So there's quite a few alphas. But one thing I will say, once the alphas go, there won't be any more alphas created. That the next NFT that's created on the line of being able to get discounts would be a beta release that could give a lower discount. It might be sort of 15% discount. Although we are looking at doing a cadet NFT release, which will be 0 discount, but the price would be $20, $25, $15. And this is something that we're looking at doing for the mass market gamers, and this might tie into the also later it'll tie into being able to get gamers on board by using the credit card, or debit card, should I say, using Visa or MasterCard, or Amex, I don't know, or PayPal, or Google Pay.
So somebody could snap up a couple of alphas, maybe an OG or two, build those up, and then keep one for themselves, and they could always sell it because it's at some point, right, for a profit, because it's an NFT, correct?
There is that possibility. I mean, as soon as
I wouldn't do that, but I would want to keep. If you put all that time and effort into building up a character, again, talking from like EVE Online and other similar game experiences, I don't know, a lot of gamers, right? They're emotionally invested in that. But I know some people would do it just for the economics and go, hey, I'm going to build this up, and then at some point I'll put it on the market, and they might fetch a pretty penny for it. So that's an aspect that someone can look at. And
I'm actually jumping over to the DApp to show you that
not many left.
Max supply 99, and you see that number there. There's 75.
Yeah,
so there's
I'm one
75. Of them. Yeah, and and
24 left.
24 left. There's 24 left.
Yeah, if you guys haven't joined it, you guys need to join. Very prestigious right there.
And in these OGs, these are like 99 minted, right? They've been pre-minted. If I scroll down, you can see these ones are all different. They're not super elaborate. Well, I don't know. They're quite elaborate, but they have a good quality to them. The actual design that you pick, this is the artwork and graphic that we want to end up appearing somewhere on the suit. So as you're in the game,
we want to ask.
We
Number 22, baby. There we go.
Is that you?
That's you?
Me. Oh
yeah. Fancy that. Fancy me stopping right where you are, right?
Right where I'm at.
You've gone for the blue color there as well, and I like that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, so we want the players to the OGs to be to look different. When we move into like multiplayer mode, then you'll be playing along with other people there, So this is all part of it, and like I say, there's 75 gone. and these will not be created again. They will not be minted again. This is the one only deal. You know, when the 99 are gone, they're gone. That's it. You know, and I think I might just keep in the DAP just to talk through a few things. And I'll look at time. Okay, we're all good. So part of the inner workings of Cosmic Force is something called the bitcores, and well, they're actually called the power cores, and it all starts with a bit core. And even on this one, you can see that we had a max supply of 10,000 bitcores, and 4,749 have been minted. Now this is a remarkable number. You know, and we're again, I always say we're grateful for everyone that's got involved. And part of the thing with the bitcores, if you can see where I'm pointing there, is we start off as a bitcore, and you can then fuse 4 of them together to make a plate core, and then you fuse 3 of them together to make a stack core, and then you end up being a dual stack core. And the dual stack cores can be used to get up to 1,000 discount on buying a planet. And buying a planet, you can also use your 35% discount from being an OG. You know, so if I scroll down here, you can see that there's different paths for fusing together the bit cores, and you can have all the same color. Sorry, all the same color will go to the plate core to create. In this case, it would be the red ones going into a red plate core, or you can have combinations of colors, and these combinations are combinations that actually like come together as a combination in real life with colors. You know, so if you combine yellow with cyan, you get green, and etc. etc. So that's what all this is about. And
I have 2 yellow bit cores.
Okay.
I got 2 yellow.
Okay. Well, if you had another 2,
I
you
plan
could
on getting
make that
more
into a plate core.
Oh,
And
I'm going
interesting.
beyond that. I just haven't gotten there yet, but yeah, I've started slowly getting mine. So
No, excellent, excellent. Well, if you buy these actually with CFX, you can get 1 bit core for 4 CFX. Now, if you imagine like 4 of them, what's that? That's 8, 16. So that'd be 16. If you were very, very fortunate and you just minted 4 bitcoins, and they were in a combination that you could then make them into a plate core, that would cost you $16 because CFX is $1 a CFX. So we go to plate core. Now plate core is actually worth 25 CFX. So straight away you've made your $16 into $25 because the actual plate core and all the power cores can be used once we go live. You'll be able to use these for buying new NFTs because it's got the value of 20. This one has got the value of 25 CFX. But what I'll do now is you can see that there's been 1,019 of these fused, and there's been 58 minted. So some people have decided, oh, I want to start at this stage. I want to mint at this stage. So let's imagine, right? So we've already said that you could potentially end up with one of these babies for $16, right? So 16 CFX. So
it's cheaper to mint them to fuse bit cores together to make a plate core, and then you can take that plate core, which has now gone up in $9 in value, but you didn't have to spend the $9. You saved money, correct?
Exactly.
Versus just buying one directly.
Yeah, and then if I go now to the stack core, so if you ended up with 3 of these, and these are all 16 each, and I didn't get all the numbers and everything in front of me right now, but just because my brain maybe not working as good as it should be. I'm going to get my calculator up because I want to follow this all the way up. I want to follow this all the way up live with you guys, and then you can see what is possible. Because actually, you know, when we put this together, we wanted to make it a game within a game, right? So we said it's possible to create one of these stack cores for $16. So that would be $16, like times by 3, right? So now we're at 48. We're at $48. Am I right?
And it would cost you $100 worth of CFX if you just bought it directly.
If you bought it directly, this would be $100. If you have this stack core, it's worth 100 CFX. So you can use this in game later to buy NFTs if you wanted to, right? So it doesn't stop there, right? So then if you want to then make this into a dual stack core, now a dual stack core is worth 250 CFX, right? But we've been able to make a stack for $48. So that's times that by 2, which is, I know I can do that in my
96.
Head. That's 96. So you can end up creating a dual stack core for $96, right? And you can then use them dual stack cores in game at a value of $250, right? So this is a game before we even start. So if you're thinking of doing things in game later on and trading, this is a way of getting some value beforehand. Now, when the game launches, we won't be selling. These will never be sold again. The power cores will never be sold again. They are only going to be they're only going to be won in the game as rewards. That's the way that it works. So power cores are on sale now, but you're never gonna be able to buy them new, but you will be able to buy them on the open market. So say, for example, you had one of these and you decided, I want to sell this on the marketplace. I'm going to sell it for like 190 because somebody might buy it and then they buy it off me for 190 CFX, and then I can actually then use that CFX. I can withdraw that. I can do whatever I want. The other interesting thing is that we're talking 250 CFX. Now, when CFX goes live, CFX may go up in value. Let's say CFX goes to $2, then this is going to be worth $500 as an in-game token. You know, that then you can trade. So we're trying to create a little bit of the Eve mentality, the Eve trading place. Even though we haven't got the marketplace, we haven't got a marketplace live yet. It feels like we need to do certain other things before we get the marketplace live. But we've got this gameplay going on. Now, what some people have been doing, and there has been, and if you want to wave and say it was me, on Tuesday, when we had the live show, I think we talked about this a little bit, and and one cunning person, and because it's all on the blockchain, you can see what happens, and all we know is the number that that somebody started with, and they started buying Bitcoins, and you could literally watch it all happening on the blockchain. They bought Bitcoins, they fused them, they made plate cores, they fused them, they made stack cores, and they ended up with 4 dual stack cores.
Wow.
And then they went over to the next tab, and they went to the planet co-ownership. Now, on the planet co-ownership, you'll see there, right, the actual planet share is 500 CFX. So it's, sorry, 5,000 CFX. So, but what you can do is you can use the I'm pointing at my screen. It's really funny, right? Because I'm pointing at the screen there. I'll move my mouth.
Yeah.
Right. So you can use like the 5,000. You can then get your 35% discount. but also you can stake up to like 4 of the jewel stacks by selecting the jewel stacks, as I just did here. I'm not going to do anything now because I'm actually like logged in as the admin, and the jewel stacks that you see there are the ones that we're looking after, because the jewel stacks are actually only staked. So this will take it down by 1,000. So I think that if I scroll down, and all these that you see, all these that you see here, these are ones that are owned by other people, and we're actually looking after them. And what it means is that once you use your jewel stacks and your 35% discount, the 5,000 goes nearly to half price, where it's 2,600. Yeah,
nice.
And the final thing I'm going to say about that is that when we actually go live, the Planet NFTs are going to be 10,000 each. They're going to go up. You can still use your discounts at that point in time, but yeah. So they basically go up in value there. So there you go. So there's a lot in the white paper, and there's a lot in the DApp as well. There's a lot that you can do before the game even comes out, you see. So I'm just thinking now, maybe I should talk about the Planet co-ownership and what you actually get out of that, seeing as we're on this page.
Yeah, and we have a question that kind of ties into that from Lou Roll, and thank you for your question, Lou. He asks you, Steve, does Cosmic Force have the potential to be massive, concerning a good passive income amount for having a share in a node?
Right. So directly after this, like, going to talk about the nodes, and this is where you always go, like, not financial advice, right? So what we can say is, looking at the research that we talked about in the beginning about gaming and about how blockchain traffic is up to about like 49% of all blockchain traffic is gaming traffic. That does mean there's the potential, if we onboard like a few other games as well as Cosmic, there's potential that there could be big traffic on the Cosmic blockchain. And even though we're setting a low gas fee, them gas fees actually come back to the node owners, the node shareholders in the nodes. But it's going to take time to build that up, right? So I'm talking about nodes just a little bit here now, and I think let's talk about nodes, because we've got this question, and then I'll come back to the planets. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to flick back to my other screen and go on to nodes. Where are we? There we are. But because we know the traffic is going to take time to build up, and we've set a time period of 5 years that we have a certain amount of Cosmic coins to be given out. Right, sorry for scrolling up and down. I just want to show like the part. All right. So this area now, we're just talking about the core ownership, because we have a 5-year plan, and the 5-year plan is double-barreled. And one is that 1% co-ownership. After 5 years, it becomes then a full node. But the way that it works in the beginning is each node server has shares, like percentage shares, and this is so that we can like run a node as a DAO and put it on a decentralized server. So initially there may be about 7 actual node servers that are running, but there'll be multiple shares that up to like 300 1% nodes that we've got on sale right now. But because the traffic is going to take a while to build up, we have there we go. So we have 1 million Cosmic coins that are going to be distributed as rewards over a 5-year period, and this is equally distributed during this time period. And the breakdown means that that's 200,000 per year, which if I go right down to the brass tacks, the brass tacks, where did that come from?
I like that. I thought I was the only one that used that saying anymore.
Let's get down to the brass tacks.
Brass tacks, hell yeah.
Because where's this brass tacks? There's money. Anyway, so each 1% node share will receive 23.8 cosmic coins per month. So that's what we're talking about. And just shortly, we're going to talk about the cosmic coin and what the launch price of that could be. But we're hoping the launch price is going to be around the $3 mark. So if you want to work out about purchasing a 1% node, right? So what I can say, the 1% nodes are 500 each, and like right now, let's have a look. I feel like I want to go over to the node page because then you can see it in action. So let's share this. I'm getting good at this.
The 23 point. You're a pro. The 23.8 per month again is just to clarify. That means you're going to get 20. If you have a 1% node, you will get a if you get a node, you'll get 23.8 CFX. Or no, excuse me, cosmic tokens.
Coins.
Yeah, cosmic coin. You'll get 23.8 cosmic coins per month for the first 5 years. Is that the best way to say that?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
And and if the initial price of cosmic coin can reach $3, or even if it's still $1 or whatever, you can work out if it's worth it or not. So on this one, so say for example, a cosmic node is 500 CFX, right? With your 35% discount, you could buy this for 325 CFX. So if you want to translate that into dollars, because that's the easiest way of thinking of things, that's $325. If on average it was $25 a month, then you can easily work out how many months you would need if it just stayed at $1, roughly, for it to actually reach 325. So I think on average you could be talking about like 10 months. You could be that's what you could be talking about, or it could be a lot less if the cosmic coin is at $3. Right now, we don't know exactly what it's going to be. So the numbers that we've worked it out in a way that we believe it will be good value to people, like buying the nodes. This is if you have the OG discount. If you've got an alpha, which they're like $100 each, you will get 25% discount. So I think that's 375 CFX. That's how much it would cost you then. And remember, there's 28 minted. There's only 300, right? So that's all I can say. The nodes are something that you can own forever, right? So it's not just for the first 5 years. It's forever. When 5 years comes up, we will be looking at things and deciding, okay, do we carry on some offer on the cosmic coin after 5 years? Now, we're not making a promise on that, but it's something that we may look into, that there's still some returns that can happen on that front. And it all depends. If the gas fees and the traffic and everything happening on the blockchain has got to a certain point where it outweighs any of the 23 a month, then the gas fees have outweighed that. And one thing to remember is during the 5 years, the gas fees are on top. You will still be getting the gas fees, but they may be pretty low to start with. If you're talking 2 or 3 years down the line, how many players are possible on these games? We have to look and think, right, okay, let's have a think. Realistically, Cosmic Force, where could we be 3 years down the line? Well, we're pushing as much as we can. We're pushing as much as we can. we've got the initial like backing from you guys. We've got good support. As we go forward, we're going to move faster and faster and faster when it comes to building gameplay, because there will be a little bit more money to be able to do things and be able to bring in more expertise and do things faster and better. So where could we be in 3 years? How many players could we have playing in any one day? I mean, you guys, Fowler, give us some numbers for some of the games out there. You know, you talk about EVE Online. At its peak, we're talking millions of players, aren't we? We're not talking 1,000, are we? We're talking millions.
I mean, if you want to, like, they, you know, people don't understand that, like, when you start off with a small community. You put something out, the community uses it. Yes, it won't be the greatest passive income play of all time starting out, but with the whole point is to constantly try to raise funds to make things better. You know, we start off with something which is an alpha. It may not be pretty. You know, it may not be, you know, what you see as like a AAA game. But what the whole point is to get it up and to keep upgrading it. And then when when the right eyes see it, then something magical happens. It could be a marketing, something, anything. Steve could end up onboarding the really good marketing guy. He knows how to make things look a certain way in the gaming industry, right? Then people find their way into Cosmic Force. And they're just playing the game. We're not talking about the whole investor side where, you know, person nodes and all this stuff. No, we're talking about the gamers. And when the gamers come and they start playing, they're going to start using all the little things, the stores. There's going to be transactions all over the place. And so the people who wondering, you know, are the node people going to make money? Yes, you have very huge potential in making a lot of money, because it only takes the right spark to go from 1,000 people to 100,000 people. And when you're at 100,000 people, you guys who have nodes, you probably won't even be talking to Steve anymore because you're going to be so doing your life. You're not going to be worried about Steve. Steve is probably not going to be worried about the game. It's going to be take care of itself at that point in time.
I'll be like, make it so number one.
Yeah. But we got to get, but that's the thing, guys. We got to all, and it doesn't just go for Cosmic Force, it goes for my project too. And this is truly how I feel. You got to take things step by step. You got to understand where you're at in a project. And then you have to always look forward and have a vision forward. But if the community doesn't have a vision, it's going to be hard to get to that 100,000 mark. That Cosmic Force has a very huge potential. Because the thing is, guys, crypto is evolving. It's getting better. The world is not going towards the old financial system, the old tech, Web 2 world. We're not going back to that. We're not staying there. We're going forward. Decentralization is becoming a real thing. Games are going to have to be the same way. Games run on servers. The servers have to be upgraded. Their servers are going towards cloud-based performance. So this is where the world's going. Guess what? Cosmic Force is right here, ready to get picked up by anybody, while everybody else is still in the Web 2 world. So you got to look at it like that, guys. You're not behind. You're not anything like that. You're pioneers. You're in the alpha stage. You're getting ready for the big trip. Okay, so yeah, just buckle up, guys. You're in the right place.
you got me excited, but that's right.
And you know, there's. Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, to finish talking about on the average day, they still have over 20,000 people playing at any given time. It's a different type of game, but they've been holding that type of number for, well, what it launched officially. Was it 04, Fowler? Because that's around when I got my first character in EVE. Was it right around 2004, 2003? With the gamma, I think that's about right. But it didn't take very long, and everybody plays on the same server. They take it a little bit different, and the cloud gaming thing wasn't around back then. So but they decided they were going to do one server, like World of Warcraft as an example, or some others. They have this server for that, and but everybody's in one server on Eve. Now I think it's interesting that it's never gone really much higher on an average day where there's not hundreds of thousands or even millions playing at this point, but they have one heck of a hardcore community, and they are buying and selling stuff, and they changed their model to actually be one where you can now buy a lot of stuff. There's lots of microtransactions in the game, and I think they're making more now than they ever did off it. But anyway, I think that it's going to be interesting to see in 3 years. I don't know, OBZ, was it Teddy One or OBZ? Teddy One said he thinks maybe there'll be 500,000 players a day in 3 odd years. I could say, I was going to guess maybe a couple million at that point, but it's anybody's guess, really.
Yeah,
I think we have the possibility. I don't think we're going to have 50 million people playing at a time. I mean, that would be really cool, but and it's going to be interesting.
And what we're doing from the beginning, and just to reiterate one thing, something that we've always said from the beginning, that this isn't a get rich quick scheme. I don't like the term get rich. I mean, it's all about quality of life and being able to see your family and everything like that. But what I can promise from, and it's a promise I'm saying now, I can promise that we are working as hard as we can to make sure that Cosmic Force is a success, because we want it to be a success for our family, for your families, for everything that's going on. And it's what we want. And it could be have a more, well, not get rich in the long term, but it's like if we follow the steps that we're putting out in front of us and everything goes even 40% the way that we think it is going to do, right, then it's going to be good for everybody, and especially for you guys that are here now in the early stages, because like I say, there's not going to be any more OGs. There isn't going to be any more alphas. There aren't going to be any more opportunities. The best opportunities are the opportunities now, and and I would say, if you want to be part of it, then be part of it in whatever shape and form you can be. I did see that Teddy One said he bought some. He was trying to get up to dual stack status. And one thing I will say is I know we haven't come out with the marketplace. It's about 80% done, the marketplace. We're going to bring an online marketplace. So, and this will come out before we actually launch, while you still can buy stacks and power cores, but we will bring out the marketplace so you're able to trade with other people. So if you've got a color and then the other person's got a color you want, you'll be able to trade in the marketplace to get them stacks and basically like fuel up before the game goes live on the main blockchain. So when I say go live, we're going to be doing the beta release, or should I say the pre-alpha release of the game in October, but the actual game that would become then a potential beta release will be more January time, and that's when being able to buy a stack or a power core will stop, so that's what's going to happen there. So I'm looking at time, because I don't have too much time, but I've got some more time. The one thing I wanted to say about the Cosmic node is that, as well as being a Cosmic node, we are looking at making it run as a game server. Now, not going to go into detail now, but all I need to tell you is that as the game gets bigger and bigger, and there are more and more players, there's going to be more and more traffic. And in the beginning, we have like 7 servers that will be running, and these are sort of located planet-wise. So if you imagine that you've got a server that is sort of running and it's part of the home planet, home world, and that's where things are happening, then when we go into multiplayer, that will be the game server that's looking after multiplayer on that planet, for example. So you imagine, we may not have like one server that deals with absolutely every single multiplayer, like Eve does, but if you've got multiple people that play on one of the planets or one of the other planets, it makes sense to distribute the servers that way, because a player isn't going to be interacting with somebody directly on another planet, in that sense, so there's a way of separating. So all I'm saying is, as the game gets busier and busier, we can upscale what we've got in place. It's all done in a way that that we can build flexibility to become like more and more power as time goes on. So
how about this question to kind of tie into that? Teddy One asks, and this is a good question: is it possible a person can win a 1% share in a planet? Not by raffles, because I don't have luck in those. ASL Fowler.
That's all right.
I don't have any luck either, Teddy.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't won any of his F3s. I've had to buy mine.
Yeah.
I suck. But what do you think about that question? Any plans for anything like that?
Well, yeah. So on that front, I think there's a little bit of scope, to do some pre-marketing. So we could do some marketing that's before the bigger marketing, and where we're asking people to do things and get the word out, and then there's the possibility of winning something. And it is actually, we had a meeting recently, and it is something that we talked about, and it's something that was thinking about, like doing some more giveaways. We did do that kind of thing, a competition, about, I think it was about 3 months ago now, actually, when the Bitcoins came out, and we actually like airdropped Bitcoins to existing alphas and OGs, and also did a competition that people could win Bitcoins, and really that was part of priming the pump, so people would get into using the Bitcoins as well. But yeah, I think there's every possibility that we can do something, and I think we will look into it and we will do something. So just watch this space. Let's do something. I think something better might be to do, if we were going to do anything, then even something bigger might be more interesting as well. Like a planet share or something like that. But let's not get carried away, because right. So right now, I know that everybody that's bought into the cosmic node or the planet, that they're serious. Everybody's serious about what's going on, and you know the potential, and you're going to be working with Cosmic along the way. I wouldn't want to do something that was a competition and then somebody just like wins something and they don't even know what they've got. So
yeah.
So I just want to be sure that if there is a competition, it's validated by knowing that they are people that are going to make use of what they get, because that's what we want to see. So the last area that I need to cover, just in more detail, is the cosmic coin. And I think this, if I just go to this screen, there we go. And I think that the cosmic coin is the thing that's coming in the future, and it's part of the glue that's going to hold everything together as well. But it's part of the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is that it's for the cosmic blockchain, and it opens the door for other games to be part of the cosmic blockchain, and the common token or the common coin that glues everything together is the cosmic coin. So that's what we'll just talk about now, and then finish any additional questions and sort of round things up. How does that sound to you?
Sounds good. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you start a blockchain has gas fees. It needs a native coin to be part of the blockchain, because that's what's used. That's the sovereign coin that is used to pay and cover gas fees. And I don't think there's any exceptions. I think every blockchain has some sort of coin at the root of it that covers the gas fees, and Cosmic Blockchain is no exception. So on this one, we've already said that we're building in a mechanism. Yeah, we're building in a mechanism for Cosmic Force that people don't need to buy the Cosmic coin directly to cover gas fees, because we're going to be building it into the mechanism of the treasury for Cosmic Force, that it automatically buys Cosmic coin to pay for the gas fees, and that's going to come through the CFX token, and it's going to come through like the NFT sales, and this way we make it a lot easier for people to actually play and onboard, and it's less moving parts for everybody. But going forward, other games that come onto the network, onto the blockchain, that they may use the Cosmic coin in different ways, and I'll show you in a second, like why you can use it, because the tokenomics are like zero tokenomics, and it's been designed like that on purpose. So really now we're just talking about the coin and not the blockchain. So we've talked about the blockchain. Cosmic you'll be able to purchase Cosmic coin in October. We haven't set a date yet, and it will be available in pre-sale up to going live with mainnet in January or end of January. We will release at the same sort of level as the Cosmic Force token. So one Cosmic will be one BUSD, so it'll be $1. We haven't got a contract for it yet, but a contract will be coming, and we're going to set the soft cap at 500,000, just in case we get a big influx of people, and you know, things do happen. You never know.
Yeah.
The total supply, I don't know. We quite like Bitcoin. You know, we've been around crypto for quite a while, and we just like the number 21 million.
Copycat.
Yeah, we copycat on that one.
No, it's cool.
But right off
It's like
the
blackjack.
top, yeah, right off the top of that 21 million, let's remember that there's 1 million that's going to be reserved for the node holders. So there's 21 million, and there's 1 million that are reserved for the first 5 years for node holders. So that is a big part of the supply for the node holders. If you just think about it for a minute, you know, that's a big percentage. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to be more aggressive than CFX on the bonuses, but it's going to be working on the same principle, that as the funds come in, you know, when we launch the coin for sale, when you get within certain brackets of price, so say we get up to 50,000 has come in, then when the coin launches, it'll be launched at $1.50. The purchase price would have been $1. The actual launch price will be $1.50. Again, remember that there's going to be buying pressure with Cosmic coin, because Cosmic Force is going to be buying the coin all the time. As new players come in, as there's activity happening, Cosmic is going to be bought and purchased all the time. So there's purchase pressure right from the beginning. If we get over 500,000, then that would be like $2.50. So you can see on this chart, it's more aggressive than it is on the CFX. Again, with this, we're not looking at doing a pink sale. Pink sale isn't the way we want to go. We want to do like pre-sales through our own DApp and then launch into liquidity. It's something we want to do. With this, the actual rollout of the blockchain, the testnet, we're looking end of October. It might be the beginning of November. We will have a testnet, and this is just to show that there is a blockchain there that we're working on, and indeed we'll create a faucet, so you can actually get some cosmic coins and do some testing on there if you wanted to. So this will be more any third-party developers that want to start looking at cosmic blockchain as an option. We're actually looking, if you look in the actual roadmap, we say like Q1 for a mainnet release. We are hoping that it would be the end of January, so that's what we're hoping on that one. And also we'd be including the normal things that you need. You need like a blockchain explorer, that you can do things with that. Now, tokenomics, I just said a little bit about that, and the tokenomics are that there'll be 0 tokenomics on Cosmic Coin, and that means, and I did mention this a little bit actually on Tuesday's show. So, but basically it means if you want to build on the blockchain, there's 0 tokenomics. It means there's no tax. You can put your own tax structure on your own coin, on your own game, whatever you want to do, building on top, which I think is a good thing. And then the other thing to talk about is that we will be putting the total circulation of Cosmic Coins will be across the Cosmic blockchain and also on the Binance blockchain. So you will be able to buy Cosmic Coin on the Binance blockchain, which we're a multi-chain solution. Right now, it's Cosmic and it's Binance. Them are the 2 chains. And we'll be looking after the total supply by a cross-chain communication bridge. And this is a similar bridge to what we're using for the CFX token as well. And then we just got a little bit of tech info, but basically it's based on the ERC20, so the standard Ethereum token standard. On the Binance blockchain, it's actually called a BEP20, but it's still the ERC20. It's just a way that they say this is what we call it on the Binance. We were going to call it a COS20, but then we didn't want to confuse people, so we're just calling it a native ERC20 that's going to be there. And then there are extra details that we can go into on the allocation, and we haven't got time to go into that right now, but I think the main thing that wanted to say is that the overall infrastructure, everything that we've got going so far, it's all been built as stepping stones for the future to make the game a success. So there's a reason why we put everything into what we do. And I think the final thing is I will click on the roadmap and show where we are right now, right? So where we are right now is around this sort of area, and we're moving into Q4, and and it's actually quite exciting to think that as time goes by, we're going to be going down the list and knocking off each one of these as we go.
Yeah, land mining claims, Cosmic Coin, manufacturing blueprints. Now you're just talking dirty to me now, Steve. Yeah, I want I like the manufacturing and the what's the market. I like the economics of this type of game. I'm going to be a land baron. I'm going to own some stuff. I'm going to make stuff. I'm excited. I'm going to do pew pew too. And before we, I'm going to show you my setup that I'm going to be kicking some serious butts with before we actually log off in just a minute. But yeah, I look forward to all aspects of the game, especially the manufacturing stuff. I like that. And
the interesting thing is, we've been working months and months on the background information, what the resources are, what refinement means, what it means to actually like mine, what it means to actually have a manufacturing plant. What are the blueprints going to do? And all these things are going to be revealed in the next sort of month or so, you know. But right now, as you will agree, there's quite a lot in there already. So yeah, we need to put it into the actual roadmap, but then we'll be revealing like the way everything else comes together, you know. And we are looking at existing games and how existing games do blueprints and all this kind of stuff. And we're also taking on board feedback from the community. So then if we go like into next year, you know, we're talking about actually launching the mining, launching. That's when officially the nodes launch and the rewards happen. Like one thing I would say on that front is, if we will set the date as being end of January. If there's any big problem or whatever, then we will still launch the rewards at that time, you know. So I think that's what we need to do. Yeah. And then as time goes on, we're going to be doing more and more multiplayer. We're going to, obviously with CFX, it may be sooner than this, we'll be looking at all the listings and everything that needs to happen, and for the Cosmic Coin to be listed. And something we talked about on Tuesday is the easy player sign up, and we hope to have that up and launched by Q2, so people can get into the gaming without even knowing about the blockchain or anything else going on. And you know, Q3 and Q4, they're going to expand. There's going to be more items in there as more thoughts and ideas come together. So it's interesting. You know, we've only mapped out to the end of next year, but we're already talking about the 5-year plan for nodes. What happens? Where are we going to be, Cosmic Force, in 3 years as a game? You know, and it's all exciting. So tell us more about your setup, and then I need to rock and roll.
All right, we can move this out of the way. Sound
all right.
Get my tablet here. Turn the camera on. So hold on a second. Let me turn off my camera for that one. Camera for this one. Okay. Oh, and let's go back to that. Okay. So when I do the pew pew,
right? What do you call it? Do you call it the beast or? Oh,
I have a HOTAS system, so I have got dual throttle, a zillion buttons for my throttle. Oh, my arm is in the way. Let's see if I can get the cord out of the way here.
I'll tell you what, I need to get one of them. Just for testing, obviously, obvious reasons.
Yeah. It's a Cytec X56 Pro.
Right.
It's one crazy joystick.
Wow.
And yeah, separate throttle and everything, and it's mounted on my chair. So see if I can turn this around. See myself within myself.
This is like Star Trek, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. There you go. So it's actually mounted on a metal plate. These guys in Germany that make them.
All right.
And,
well,
yeah,
you're gonna have to send me a link. Send me a link on what these are, you know, because these are crazy.
See, it's actually attached to my chair. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's wicked. I love it. I love it. So
that's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's my jam. So that's how I play all kinds of games.
Well, I think you've got I think you got the community jealous there when they saw that. You know. But,
yeah, that's the joystick itself. It's like $500 US. I also have foot pedals for rudder for flying games and stuff like that. And
I might not be getting one of them too soon. You know.
Oh, there's other price points. Once, yeah. But yeah, and then I can just turn them and move them out of the way when I'm not using them, and just put them out of the way. But,
I want to say, thank you once again for letting us do part 2. And I know you've got a busy schedule yourself. I do have to get going, or else Mrs. Steve is going to sort me
You're
out.
going to be in a lot of trouble. No, I really appreciate your time, Steve, and being here to share the great, good stuff about what's going on with Cosmic Force up to this point and what's coming in the near future. And I look forward to having you back real soon to talk about more updates.
And
you got an amazing project.
Thanks for Fowler joining, and anyone wants to check. I think you got to get yourself an F3 warrior. So
I can't win them. I was saying before, I can't win them. I was in his drawing last week twice, and I got nothing. So I actually bought some. But, so I still have that free. Yeah,
so did I. I think
I suck at winning
so far. But that's the problem. Like once you start, you might not stop because he's coming out with new stuff and different things. And the one thing I can say is gameplay is going to be part of what Fowler's doing as well. Which that gets me excited. And we're going to be doing more stuff together in the future. We know that, so it's all good. But, thank you.
I wanted to before we go, I also, if you guys have noticed, and I know that we were kind of small thumbnails for most of the presentation, but now that it's a little bigger, you can see off on the right side, upper right side of the screen, you see this Jedi action going on. Get myself out of the way, and that's me. That's an AI rendition of me that was made by the amazing Starbuck Swashbuckler. She did it for me. She asked me about a month ago if I would do some if I wanted to do some Jedi poses. So I got out my Jedi costume, got out my plastic lightsaber props that I have, and I did some poses and stuff. And then she comes out with this stuff, and I was like, oh my God, you just blew me away. She's got this AI software that she uses, which I don't even understand. I tried, and I was like, I don't get it. But she is so crazy smart with all this stuff and so much more.
If she's listening and she wants to do any artworks, we have in Discord, we actually have an area that you can put concept art there, for cosmic concept art. So do it. Get some images.
Yeah, we should talk to her because she makes some incredible art. She just knows how to do all kinds of cool stuff, and she does have she has a project. OXPA, the Discord, that has a really cool DAP that they're building. So a sniper bot, I think it is. And so go over there when you get a chance. It's really, really freaking cool. And if you want to talk about, numbers and everything with blockchain and everything, that is a think tank. I don't belong in there because I'm not smart enough. But
so I was just thinking, well, I gotta go. If there's any additional stuff you want to talk to people about, then I can just go.
No, you go ahead and get going. You got to eat dinner. I don't want to get in trouble with the missus. So.
Oh no, it's not eating dinner. We have an appointment. We need to go out. We need to go out somewhere, you see. But all right. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say thank you very much for everything, and tune in to you soon, I guess. I don't have any elaborate sign-off things,
No, you go ahead and drop off. I'll stay on for just a quick minute. You go ahead and drop off. That's fine. And thank you for being here. I'll talk to you soon.
That's all right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye,
Teddy.
everybody.
Teddy one says, I am serious about some parts of my gaming. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I put a lot of money into my gaming computer / crypto computer, and I do a lot of video editing on this computer. It's a pretty serious piece of hardware. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I do mostly Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's not exactly exciting. It's not exciting like Cosmic Force is going to be. That's for absolutely freaking sure. But yeah, I really like it. I've played Star Citizen like we talked about, which you can't do an awful lot with. Played a bunch of other games, and it's fun for flying. You can there's I don't know 100 and something combinations that you can do with, because each button can do 3 different functions, depending on you do this, you do that, split throttles, the whole 9 yards. But it is a pretty serious gamer's joystick. And my favorite jet fighter game actually was made by Jane's, just on that topic real quick, and then I've got to go. But Jane's combat simulations came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. They had really amazing military flight simulators. And the only thing that's even come close is Digital Combat Simulator, which is DCS World. You may or may not, you might have heard of it, Teddy One, if you know about Ace Combat 5. And it's still in beta. It's almost as bad as Star Citizen, but at least you can freaking play it. And they have study level airplanes that take months to learn how to fly. F-14, I have an F-14, F-16, a couple the Warthog, the A-10 Warthog, and a couple of other planes, and you can play them that way, and it's unreal. I can't remember how to even start up. I have an FA-18 also, and don't say F-18 because we're gonna have to have a talk. Don't say F-18. It's an FA-18. It's a fight attack 18. I hate it when people say it wrong. Sorry, I'm former U.S. military. Say it right. But yeah, that's an amazing game, and I would love at some point to get back into it. And then if there's anybody out there that is well seasoned in DCS world, hit me up at some point, maybe a couple months down the road, because I would love to be able to get into a squadron with some folks, guys and gals both, and be able to do some combat missions. Because if you look up DCS World, and there's a couple of really great channels out there where they have an entire squadron of guys, and they stream it while they go and do missions and stuff against each other, and it's just on freaking real. I just love that kind of stuff. So yeah. The OXPA, let's see if I can find it. Thank you for that, Jaco. Let me get that. Let's see if I can figure this out real quick. I think I got it. All right, let's put it in here. There, let's try that. There we go. I think I just sent it out to all the channels that are on the broadcast. So yeah, Diogenes, excuse me. And I'm honestly don't remember. I think there's 2 other members of that project, but they have something that's going to be coming to market in not too long, and it's going to be really freaking awesome. So thank you everybody for joining us. I hope that you got something out of it. The project, obviously, if you've been listening, Cosmic Force is going to be so much more than just a video game. I mean, the fact that it is a video game is cool enough. And you go to cosmicforce.xyz or to their YouTube channel, and there's also a link for their YouTube channel out of there, and you can see they have a whole bunch of trailers about different planets, about the gameplay in general. There's first-person shooting involved. There is third-person. You're going to have dune buggies. You can drive around on planets. You can take off from one planet in your spaceship, go through space, and land on another planet. It's not just snap your fingers and poof, you're there. There's more to it. You'll go through the outer atmosphere and the inner atmosphere. I'm not a scientist, so don't quote me on. I don't say it all right, but anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. Not only just to play. If you want to play, great. That's what you could do. Done. If you want to be an investor, like I am, I'm going to do both. I already own a full node, or a node, as Steve says. They're actually called nodes, and light nodes is their terminology. So I own a node. I'm looking at getting 1% of a planet in the very near future. Hopefully it'll still be, I can get that, which will get me another node. So I'll end up with 2. I currently have an alpha NFT, and I have a couple of bit cores that I do plan on getting some stack cores and some plate cores. I want to build it up before they go live. So definitely get your hands on those if you want to have the power ups, because that's pretty much that's one way of saying it. It's like a power up if you want to use the layman's terminology. But anyway, hey, I got to get going to work. I really do appreciate anyone and everyone that wants to listen to what we have to say. Again, everything that we say is our own opinions. It's not financial advice. But until the next time, and so I will be live next Tuesday. That's my normal time slot, Tuesday, noon Eastern Standard Time. Be thankful for the opportunities that you come across in life. Love hard on your family, and always remember, chance favors the prepared mind.